Motherfucker. Now you might be wondering why on earth I just said that. And I'll tell you why. Because YouTube will now spank me. Because if you swear in the first 7 seconds of a YouTube video, you get dinged. And YouTube doesn't show it to people. Now, don't worry, okay? I don't have a fetish for being spanked, and I promise you that. But I'm purposely making sure that YouTube does not push this video. Because this outreach method is so powerful. Just take a look at this. This is Ali Sinar. He's 14 years old from Turkey, and he's signing clients using this outreach method. Or Julian, who had a friend who knew nothing about business. Didn't know SMMA, didn't know business, hadn't even watched the same Iman God's YouTube videos that you've watched. And she was able to book a meeting in her first 26 hours using this. Or Kenan, who were one of the top 3 detailers in New York City, even though we get pitched thousands of times. Or Saeed, who's now complaining that he's got too many meetings because the outreach is too powerful. Or Hector, who, as a complete beginner, is filling his calendar with appointments, okay? Because of that, I don't want the masses to find out about it, because it would be the second time I am involved in a global SMMA niche saturation after my very kind partner, Tony Lee, decided to unveil our entire service delivery on Joel Kaplan's channel, and next thing you know, car detailing agencies were popping up left, right, and center. So I've already done that, okay? So I'm not gonna do it again. So what is this secret outreach method? Well, it's not cold calling, it's not cold email, it's not cold Instagram DMs, it's not going to in-person networking events. Instead, it is, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to give you a case of the blue balls and give you a quick reminder that I am a guru who only posts content so I can steal all your money and one day drive a Lamborghini. And I do this by investing in successful SMMAs to make the majority of my income, right? So those are my selfish intentions. And how I can help you be successful, so maybe potentially one day down the road, we could partner one day and make a bunch of money together, is, well, first of all, we have the SMMA First Client Challenge. So if you're a complete beginner, we'll walk with you every single step of the way to help you get your first client, and we'll do it for free. Or if you're serious and you got an ego and you already got your shit together, at least to some extent, you can apply to join the RSC Inner Circle, which is not free. Anyways, the best outreach method is dependent on your niche. All right, so I understand what I just said is kind of like bringing a 10 out of 10 girl home only to find out she's a man. And right now, you're probably feeling a little bit like this guy. But because every niche has its own, every industry has its own way of doing things, there will never be a one-size-fits-all outreach method. So we need to choose a method that aligns with how our industry operates. Because if you don't, you can cold call dentists all day, but you'll only ever get to the receptionist. You can send car detailers thousands of cold emails, but they're not even gonna open them. And you can stay up till 2 a.m. DMing lawyers, but you won't get past their assistant. Okay, so here is the guide to creating the match made in heaven between your niche and your outreach method. So first of all, cold call, right? You want to use cold calling when your niche does not have gatekeepers. The amount of times I get asked, Dylan, I'm cold calling, how do I get past the gatekeeper? You're not gonna get past the gatekeeper, right? When you are cold calling a dentist and the dentist is sitting there with, drills and a light and weird freaking glasses on, and he's shoving stuff down somebody's throat, right? He's not in a position to take a phone call from you to hear about Facebook ads, right? And the secretary has no interest in doing that, because the secretary is going to assume that you're going to pitch them somebody, and she doesn't want to look bad by wasting the dentist's time and saying, hey, you need to call this person, and then you waste your time. But that is their fear, right? So if they have gatekeepers, just don't cold call them, okay? Another good indicator is that if your niche generally stays out of service delivery, right? So those niches where, the owner shows up and he spends all day working with clients, those aren't good niches to cold call, because they're always gonna be busy. They're always gonna be on the go, they're always gonna have a client, they're always gonna say, hey, I'll call you back later, and they're not gonna ever be in a position, very rarely gonna be in a position where they're actually, available to have a conversation, even if they were interested. Another good indicator is that if it's a niche that's regularly on the phone, right? So if it's a niche that, is booking appointments, or is always talking to clients, or is regularly on the phone and comfortable with picking up the phone from unknown numbers, that's a good indicator that this niche is cold call worthy. And the last one is, isn't tech savvy. So I'm personally a bigger fan of like the cold email and the cold DMs, because you can get them interested, you can get them warmed up, and then have a warm call with them, and then you only spend time talking to people who actually want to talk to you. But you know, if you're in an industry where they know nothing about Instagram or Facebook, or they don't even check their email, well then, you know, going straight to the call is your best bet. And some examples of these niches include realtors, pest control companies, flooring, sports rentals, etc. Okay. Next one, cold email. So you want to use cold email when your niche has gatekeepers, right? Because, you know, going back to the dentist analogy, right, you can find the dentist email, right? You can scrape and find the dentist email, but you know, you're not gonna be able to cold call him, right? Because he's gonna be busy all the time. So in that case, you'd wanna send him an email, right? And another thing is that they're known to be professional, right? If your niche is known to be professional, cold email is the best way to do things. And the reason why is because, you know, the busy niches, the lawyers, the dentists, you know, the vets, like all those kind of people, right? They don't have time to take a phone call, and they're probably not, you know, sitting around scrolling on Instagram. But even Fortune 500 CEOs are checking their email inbox, right? Everybody checks their email inbox no matter how busy they are, right? And so that's why if they're known to be professional and you can't really reach them via DMs or cold call, email is the best way to go. And the second thing with that is if they're a busy niche, right? You know, if they're, you know, they're always on the go, they're, you know, important, they make a lot of money, right? That's another good indicator. If you're, you know, dealing with a prospect that, you know, generally earns a higher income than the average person, well, email might be the best way about doing this. Okay, so examples include home improvement, landscaping, vets, dental, legal, etc. Now, the last one is the cold DM. So you want to use cold DM when your niche is generally run by small operations and there's a high probability that the individual managing the social media account is also a decision maker. Another good indicator is that your niche is more casual in their day-to-day, right? Where a dentist might be very professional, send me an email. You know, a gym owner might be, hey, yeah, send me a DM on Instagram, or hey, send me a quick text. Right? If you find your niche has generally that sort of lingo, well then a cold DM is probably the best way, the best method for your niche. Another one is that they understand the basics of technology, right? This is the general rule of thumb, but like, you know, there's some niches out there that's like, they don't even have a Facebook account. They're like ancient from the dinosaur, you know, belong in a museum, snail mail type, shaken hand type business owners, right? You know, when we're dealing with niches like that, well then we might want to look at like cold call or cold email as a better means of approaching them. On the other hand, if, you know, they're a niche that's, you know, regularly sharing content on social media, you know, or, you know, posting their work with their clients, or, you know, things like that, such as gyms, car dealers, photographers, sports schools, well then, you know, they have a basic understanding and, you know, are probably going to be at least open to hearing your pitch via Instagram. And so examples of this include gyms, car detailers, photographers, you know, sports schools, etc. Okay. Now, for cold call, I have a video, link it in the description, exactly how you want to be doing this to cold call local businesses. Cold email, another video, I'll link it in the description, exactly how you want to do this. Cold DM, I have tons of videos on how to do this, but I'll link my 2-hour in-depth course of everything that you could possibly need to know in order to get you know, the maximum output for the input that you're spending with your DMs. I'll link that in the video as well. But if you're still unsure which the best outreach method for your niche is, what I'm going to let you do is drop your niche in the comment section, and I will personally go in, I'll do the research for your niche, and I'll find the best outreach method for your niche so you can eliminate any guesswork, okay? I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you've spent watching this video. I hope you got at least 10x the value in return. And a reminder is that I do not want you to subscribe to me.